Hello, everybody. Yes, we're all in Facebook land. My name is Dave Fanale, and this is episode 19. 19, it is 1-9 of Real Estate Talk, TGIF. That means thank God it's Fanale, not just Friday, but that's my name. It gives me an F, and that's where we go. Today I'm sitting with Danni Rizzuto of Absolute Home Mortgage, and we're going to talk about some of the nuances of the mortgage origination business, as well as how a newer loan officer gets business. So, Danni, welcome. Thanks for coming. You. I know it's a little tight with this screen, but we're coming to you. We're on location today. How about that? We're in Clifton, New Jersey, at the Starbucks on Route 3. So, hopefully nobody gets mad at us for being here, but here we are. But I want to give a shout out to Starbucks and on Route 3 in Clifton. So come over. Great place. Got a lot of plugs for your devices. Anyway, Danni, talk to me about your business, how you got into this business and why you got into this business. How about that as a start?
So I actually got into this business by chance through my cousins. They are actually the branch managers of the Hackettstown and Morristown offices of Absolute. And I kind of got this job in school working as a processor for them. And when it came time to graduate, they had asked me if I was interested in getting my license. And I thought, sure, why not? I went to school for business management, so I wanted to work with people. I wanted to be out in the field somewhere. I didn't exactly know where, but I was already in mortgages. They set me up pretty much for future success. So here I am.
Great. So what is the one thing that you've learned about real estate business and loan officers? Of course, you have to work with real estate agents, right? And this is called Real Estate Talk TGIF, and we're talking real estate. So when you have to work with loan officers, what do you find to be the best part of that business with real estate agents? What do you find to be the best there? Because we're going to get to the other part of the question.
The best part of working with agents?
Yes.
The best part of working with agents for me is the relationship building. And of course, getting a transaction closed for them. We're all in this business to make money. We're all in this business to close loans, close deals. But being able to do that for agents, for me, is a really, really important part of it, because I'm trying to build lasting relationships. I don't want one transaction and then never to talk to an agent again. I want to build that relationship, work with them, see what they like, what they don't like, what worked, what didn't. And that in turn helps me as a loan officer grow to see what agents want to see from me.
So here's the interesting part is that you're trying to create a lasting relationship with a real estate agent, and at the same time, you're trying to create a lasting relationship with your purchaser or your refinance customer. Correct. So you're building it on both ends, and hopefully you can build relationships with specific real estate agents for you guys to have a lasting relationship, a give and take relationship that I like to call it, and I'll get more into that in a minute. So we said, what's the best thing about it? You said the relationships. Tell me, what's the worst part about working with real estate agents? And you have to be honest here, because I'm not going to allow it. I know what your answers are. Go ahead.
So, of course, agents, first thing that comes to mind when someone asks me, or when this question comes about, is agents want to know what I can give them in terms of money.
Wow, so, really? Money?
So if what I can pay for them, what I can sort of give them. Another thing is leads for them, how I can get leads for them. It's a little more, I know we talked about this before, it's a little more difficult, I think, for me at this point, to give an agent a lead. I'm still trying to discover avenues on how to do that a lot better. But that's something that agents ask me for all the time.
Okay, so agents want leads, which means they want business, which means they want money, was the first word you used.
Yep.
So you're kind of between a rock and a hard place. In order for you to work with them, you got to give them something, but you're a new loan officer, so you don't have really much to give them, and you don't have backup. But a lot of them want postcards, and they want this, and they want that. And do they ever want you to pay for you to buy them leads? Do they ever want that?
Yes.
Wow, really? What is that?
So a lot of things like Zillow or Realtor.com, where they have the co-branded agent loan officer sort of lead generation, I get asked that very often.
So in other words, so Zillow has created a situation where the loan officer is almost forced to participate with Zillow and the agent to do it. So that's one of the things that Zillow did a long time ago, because they ain't stupid.
Yep.
They're really smart.
Yep. So pretty much that's like you said, we're kind of forced to do that. And we're not really given, if it's not us, it's someone else. So of course we want to make our agents happy. It's just a matter of, for me, having the capital, the availability to do that for my agents.
Right. Okay. So basically we've established something, a well-known fact, that realtors want you to give them leads. They want you to give them money for mailings. They want you to do all this stuff. And does that mean you get loyalty from them?
No. You're not even guaranteed that.
So it's a firm commitment of a definite maybe.
Yes.
Oh, great. I love that. Love that. Love that. So
That's a great way to put it.
So we've got real estate agents that want stuff. You're trying to build relationships with both buyers and refi people to be able to refi their homes. And then you're also talking about real estate agents. So what would you say are the biggest, aside from having to be able to give agents leads, what would be the biggest roadblocks or detours for you in your loan officer business?
So in terms of agents, a roadblock for me, especially at this point in time, is the level of experience of the agent. So more often than not, an experienced agent is already established. They already have their go-to loan officer, and they're not even going to look at me to give me a chance. On the other hand, there's those new agents who are new, just like I am, and they're not doing many transactions yet. But they're the ones who are open to using me since they don't have any other connections in the business yet. So it's a tough position for me where the experienced agents don't want me. The newer agents, they do want me, but they don't have anything to offer yet.
Okay. So it's kind of like a catch-22 in your business. So let's detour over to a different conversation and about the sales process and about the products and stuff. So what can you tell me about your sales process and your product knowledge? What do you think is more important? Knowing what the products are. Now, I mean, it's important to know the products. It's important to have a process of your business. But what do you think? If you had to put one in front of the other, which would it be?
I would have to say the sales process is first. However, if I don't know what I'm talking about and I don't know the programs that I'm trying to sell, I don't know anything about my business, it's hard for me to sell what I don't know. But it also works in reverse. If I know all about every product that I have, everything I have to offer, but I don't know how to implement that and I don't know how to get that across to people and sell that, that doesn't help me at all.
Okay, right. So in other words,
both.
Both,
are equally as important.
But, you know, I mean, if one had to come before the other, it would be the sales process, as you said.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the answer to the product, you can always get the answer, but do that in a quick space. So this business of being a loan officer, is it something that you enjoy doing?
I do. I have to say I do. I didn't think that I would, honestly. Again, I started working in the back office processing. I've been doing that for 3.5 years. So it's a lot different being out in the field on the sales part of it. And I wasn't sure how I would like it, but I actually really do.
What's your favorite part of it? Being a loan officer and working within the real estate industry, what's your favorite part? My favorite part is no day is the same. I'm constantly meeting with people, constantly meeting with clients, constantly out everywhere, different offices. I go from my Hackettstown office to the Group 26 Edgewater office. Really, no day's the same, and I just meet a lot of people. Okay. So through the process of learning the business and getting into the business, you've come across some interesting people, I would imagine, correct?
Yes.
Tell us about the most interesting person you've come across so far.
Most interesting person I've come across so far. Oh, that's tough. Agent or client or
Doesn't
both
matter.
or what?
Doesn't matter. Have there been any real estate agents that have been rude to you?
Oh, all the time.
Really?
All the time.
Wow, I find that so not hard to believe. But see, here's always been my thing. I mean, I look at real estate agents and I look at loan officers, and I know that loan officers are in a difficult position simply because there's that catch-22. They want your business, you want their business, but they want you to give them something first.
Right.
One of the things that I always did, as we've discussed several times, Danny, is that I never wanted to work with loan officers or a company or a mortgage company or a bank for them to give me something until I showed them that I was worth my salt. If anybody wants to know what that means,
you're a rare breed.
worth your salt. I want you to look that up on Google and tell me what it means. Oddly enough, one time, way long time ago, salt was also currency. Anyway, so and I know that doesn't happen all the time. I know that rarely, but everybody wants stuff. So as we move forward and we have evolved. I mean, we were discussing earlier that I believe our business has evolved to be, honestly, I think most of us are whips in this business where we're buying leads. We forgot how to prospect. And there are people spending thousands of dollars a month because Zillow is now their primary focus. And I'm not bashing Zillow, and I'm not bashing the agents that have no business except Zillow business. But prospecting is something that both a loan officer and a real estate agent can do together. Do you agree with that? What do you think? How do you think that could work?
Absolutely. So the opportunity to work together in that sort of approach to getting leads, I'm all for. I want to do that. That aligns perfectly with relationship building, which is what I want to do. And doing things together to work towards that common goal. It's not what can I do for you, what can you do for me sort of thing. It's how can we approach this together, attack this together, and get this lead converted and closed together.
Working as a team together, you produce a lead, you work the lead together. And so, I mean, do you think that that's something that can happen with you and your business and in this real estate mortgage business together? Because I haven't really seen it a lot. I've seen loan officers work with real estate agents by, building their Facebook business page, by telling them how to do it, by giving them leads and doing all kinds of different things with that. But the question I have is how likely is that to happen as a new loan officer as you try to build a relationship where you're both going out there and lead generating together? Do you think that's likely to happen? And how can you prospect an agent to do that? What would make that, If you don't, that's fine too. Because I'm not sure I do. How do you get a real estate agent to say, hey, look, let's work together and work leads together?
So the initial conversation, of course, usually happens where the agent asks me to do that with them, whether it's Zillow, Realtor.com, something like that. I'm personally not a fan of that, but there are so many other outlets, like you said, Facebook ads, doing those together. It's not expensive. It's a way to work together and collaborate together to sort of tailor your own ads and your own business, whereas Zillow just gives you a name and a number, for example. It's a way for you to get yourselves out there together rather than just having a random person contact the two of you separately, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. See, here's the thing that I want people to understand. I'm really interested in having real estate agents work with loan officers, and it's funny in our business. People say, "Well, it's business. You have to be a professional, right?"
Of course.
But there also has to be some way, somehow, some type of personal relationship. And I mean, as a friend, is going out and having drinks, because it's not like it used to be, where you were 9 to 5, so on and so forth. But real estate business and your business had never been 9 to 5.
Right.
So it has to do with something with loyalty. Now, I work with, and over the years, I've worked with a lot of mortgage companies, loan officers. And one of the things that I always believed in was that, number one, as I said, I wasn't going to do anything with them unless I gave it to them first. And number two, I have, people that I am loyal to above and beyond any other loan officer or mortgage company that I will send my business. And that person and those people know who they are. Is that a loyalty that you're looking for? Is that a loyalty that can be built easily? And aside from the leads, is there any other way to build that?
It is the loyalty I'm looking for sure. Does it come easily? No.
Right.
I can close a loan for someone. I can be there every step of the way for someone. And at the end of the day, the harsh reality is if someone can offer them something better, whether it is money or I don't even know what. I don't even know. If they can offer someone better, they don't think twice about me. Even though I got their tough loan closed, I was answering their phone calls at 9:30 on a Sunday night. So I do all those things. But getting someone to stay, it's almost as if that doesn't really matter to them, or other things matter more, which is a struggle.
So just two more things quick. So, one of the things that I see that real estate agents do, and it's now more than ever I see, is I always try to tell people to create expectations. So what I mean by that is, put on the back of your business or what your hours of operation are, right? Because the biggest mistake I think we make in this industry, both loan officers and real estate agents, is we say, yeah, I'm available 24/7. And honestly, for me, that's a lot of crap, because don't call me after 8 o'clock at night. I'm not going to talk to you. And here's the one thing that I've always believed in. And I don't think anyone has ever died from a real estate transaction, because it's never a matter of life or death. So why is it important for you to talk to someone at 10 o'clock at night? Now, I will say that there are instances where it is important, and that could be negotiating a deal, negotiating a transaction. I get that. And with you, Danny, it would be being there to make sure that that buyer is qualified if it's more money or whatever, right? But do you believe in being available 24/7? And if you do, why?
I do. Exactly 24/7 where someone's calling me at 3 a.m. We're all human. I think we can all interpret the fact that I probably won't answer you at 3 a.m. because I'm sleeping, as everyone else probably is. But it is important to answer a phone call if I'm out somewhere or home on a Sunday night, because one, if I'm not answering that phone call, someone else might. And two, something that I hear, and I ask for feedback all the time from real estate agents and purchasers themselves. What would you like your loan officer to do that they're not doing right now? The number one response that I get is availability. I have people come to me that say their loan officer isn't getting back to them. Their loan officer went on vacation. Their loan officer, they can't get in touch with their loan officer. So to me, that's hard to believe, because I have been trying to build my business in a way where I'm always available. And if I'm not, I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But that's something that I try to keep. I try to do, and something that I feel in the long run people really do appreciate.
Yeah, one of the things, and we're running out of time here, so we're going to move forward with this, is one of the things that I believe is building a good relationship with people, but also to a point of, I've always said that I was pretty direct, and I always said what I felt, and whether it was a customer, whether it was a friend, whether it was, in relationships, I believe, and that word is blunt, I believe it's really important to do that. And as you may or may not know, I have a program called Real Estate Skill Builder, and what I like to do in that program is I like to talk about doing things differently. And I think we've talked about a couple of different things here. One being the real estate agent and the loan officer working together. Now that might be different to some, but I'm talking about in lead generation and an actual lead conversion. Lead conversion, the first thing about that is to convert to a conversation. And number two, a convert to a meeting. So when I talk about real estate skill builder, I talk about for loan officers and salespeople and real estate salespeople, be able to do things different. We do it through the art of differentiation, right? So I believe you and I have talked about a couple of different things. Sales process. We all have these things, but they're never enumerated the way I think they should be, so people understand. Like, for instance, we also had another thing we talked about, which was price and cost and value. So if there's one thing that you'd like to leave people with as far as Danni Rizzuto's value, what would that be?
Ooh, I feel like I can offer a lot. Not only can I close your loan for you, but just as a person, as a working professional, I give the courtesy that I would hope to get from a real estate agent or a buyer like you. I believe myself to be very blunt and honest, of course, in a very professional way. I won't sugarcoat anything, but at the same time, I am trying to make everything as easy as possible for everyone, for the agent, for the buyer, for all of us.
Well, thank you for that. And one of the things I want to use, I kind of have my own definition for the word blunt, and I'll just put it this way. One, I've been told a couple of times by a friend of mine who was in a high position on a board. He says, Dave, you have a different way of approaching things. I do. It's called saying what I think and not beating around the bush and not BSing anyone. I believe that the definition of blunt is just say it like it is. Now, of course, in sales, you know, maybe there's some white lies that you have to throw out and stuff, but still being direct and going through it and not wasting time is important, especially in this day and age. Danni, I want to thank you for coming on. And
thank you for having me.
And I want to thank everybody that came on. Janet Bush, a very old friend of mine. Sherry, Chris Batilli from GSF Mortgage in Delaware, and some other people were on. And I want to thank you all for coming on. Next week, we will be having another top agent. As you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we had Michelle Pius from Signature Realty on. Next week, we have scheduled Jody Luminello from Coldwell Banker in Westfield. And we'll have her. We also have in the future, we have Ryan Hodge from Ryan Hodge Coaching and Realty Firm in London, Ontario, which is near Toronto. And so we've got a lot of stuff going on. We've got great guests. If you'd like to join us someday, please direct message me and let me know. And we'll have great conversations like this one with Danni. And of course, there's real estate skill building. If you're interested in talking about that and getting some information, having a conversation about how a different approach would help you in your business, go to reskillbuilder.com. You'll get to see another quick video by me, see me again. And then if you want to have a conversation, you can fill out the form and we'll set up a time. Thanks so much. This is Real Estate Talk TGIF for episode 19. Thanks a lot. See you later.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Bye-bye.